Welcome back to another Frontline game, my friends. Today we're going to be playing the Great Patriotic War. Let's jump right into the campaign, and something I love about the campaign system here, number one, quite a few locations, but as you go through, you of course go through the years and different battles for each corresponding year. Now, Stalingrad is the one I'd really love to get to, but we are going to be starting with the Battle of Minsk here. So let's jump right in, guys. We simply click on the battle, and we get started. So here we go, guys. It looks like that is going to be the main objective. It's going to be back here, whereas the optional objectives right here. Also, with quite a few German guns holding on in this area, we want to be careful as we approach. I think I'll start out by knocking out the actual half-track here, but the only way to knock that out properly is going to be more than likely with the tank. I'll move up here. Before I attack, I want to see how our tank would do. I also want to see if this game has the two-tile system that the last one did. So no, it doesn't. We have to actually go right up to the unit to attack them. And now that we're already here, I am going to go ahead and do that attack. Of course, I would be careful in the future. So let's see. And once again, Baranovici is another location we have to take. Let's try out our Katyusha against it. Oh, I love to see that Katyusha rocket launcher in action. And now right up close and personal with the town itself. Baranovici seems to be pretty well held. Now, typically, I would be sending infantry in for a capture like this. I'm hoping that this early battle is going to be easy enough we don't need to use infantry, but maybe we should be careful just in case. So let's see over here. There's another supply point here where the Germans are defending. Let's immediately hit that unit. And we got a promotion. So the bonus skill here for the KV-1 is the suppressive fire skill. We won't be using it now, but it's something we can certainly use later on in the campaign. Alright. Smolensk, of course, looking pretty nice here as well. There are a tremendous amount. Well, this one, and the one in the center, Vilnius. These are the areas we must capture during this particular fight. I think we've done okay on movement. Let's end the turn. Alright, so they are resupplying, guys, and all of those city tiles, they are resupplying consistently. I know they want to make sure that we don't roll over them, but that's the whole point here, is for us to roll over and get a victory. Let's make it happen. Bring in some of that Katyusha support. I know the Wehrmacht is not going to like that, and I'll bring in the infantry for the attack. Oh, so close, guys. One more attack, and we should have Baranovici under our control. And there we go, liberating Baranovici. You could also see down here with the requisition points that we also gained some additional recce points, so not bad at all. I do want to get rid of that gun so badly, but we've got to get rid of this half-track first. First, let's push our tank right there. And at this point, we have the enemy surrounded. Even if we're sending in infantry, I think it's worth it. Most of these conscript infantry units, or marine, or even regular infantry units, have 30 in terms of the actual number here to represent the manpower. So I'm not too worried about -5, -4. That can be resolved. We can deal with that afterwards. All right. Oh, some more armor. Forward, boys. And of course, we got our supply HQ. I'm just going to place our supply HQ right here for when he is needed. Right now, he's not needed, so we'll put him in that area. And let's just take a look here quickly at the different things we can purchase from the requisition screen. This, of course, grows over time, but this is what we've got right now. Let's bring in another T-34, especially this close to the front line. And that was actually one of the objectives, is to actually bring in an armored unit. I'm also going to bring in some shock troops. Alright, folks, that should be sufficient for now. We made all of our movements. I believe we have. Let's end the turn and hope for the best. Alright. See if we can finish him off. One good armored attack. Oh, yes. There we go. First kill for the Soviet armed forces. And of course, like I said, these charges are going to be painful, but it's absolutely worth it if it means breaking through those guns eventually. Alright. Let's take in... I do want to go for those mines, but at the same time, I'm trying to override them just to hit the enemy. That's not going to be possible. So let's go straight for the mines. Can at least open up the area, and they do get that supporting fire. That's pretty frustrating. At least we completely opened this area up here. Alright. This unit has performed more than 3 attacks during this turn and is exhausted. So because of this, next turn he's not going to be able to fire or move. And that's an artillery piece, so quite a useful card when going after arty pieces. Here we go. Get through the Wehrmacht, and our first liberation there, or second liberation, I should say, in terms of a town. So I definitely want to dedicate these units over here to, I think it's Polotsk. Let's push forward. Polotsk should be in our grasp sooner rather than later. Full attack. Wehrmacht have orders to hold Polotsk till the last man. We are going to have to override those orders and push right through, but I think Vilnius is going to be the toughest nut to crack, or should I say the toughest German bunker to crack. Could do some IL-2 attacks here, but I think I would only carry out IL-2 attacks when I knew for sure there was no AA. I am going to try to hit Vilnius here, the German bunker on top of Vilnius. And that actually seems to be pretty safe. We just want to be careful that we don't spend all of our initiative points doing airstrikes. That, of course, would be a mistake. So I'm just going to weaken them a bit. Of course, they could at any point reinforce that unit. So that's definitely another concern. And let's end the turn. First of all, gotta get this M10 a lot closer to the enemy. I think I can only dismount him next turn, however. Come on, brothers. Our infantry is getting ever closer to the final objective points here, guys. I'm hoping this brings in a victory. In fact, we might be able to just bust right through with our tanks, but as you can see, attacking an urban area with armor, usually not such a good idea. This is really more a job for our infantry units. As you can see there, we're not even doing any damage. So let's go ahead, get out of the truck, begin bombardment on Vilnius. Yeah, we should go for the Carl Gustav first. Well, Karl Geralt, excuse me. I think next turn we might have to focus entirely on repairing these tanks. Let's see if we can push him back. I'm going to move back with the tank and go for the Geralt. Well done there by the T-34B. At this point, we'll push the conscripts up. They are conscripts after all, and throw them against the bunker here. Whatever it takes for a Soviet victory. Enemy is heavily fatigued. I'm also going to go ahead and give them a nice Katyusha barrage. And I think this, with a nice tank attack, we should be able to completely defeat the enemy. Not to mention that he is surrounded. That's right, completely surrounded by the Soviet armed forces. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till next turn to get in there, but this is a good start. Certainly a good start. And again, I want to save these requisition points for the next battle. If we don't need to use them, then don't use them. You know, obviously, if you're just trying to sort of figure out what the Soviets can do in your first playthrough, by all means, go ahead and use those requisition points. But as the battles get more and more complex, you're going to actually need those points. We don't currently need them. So there we go. I made sure to surround the enemy. That means having 4 tiles covered. Let's attack. They are dug in, however. So it's not going to necessarily be an easy walkthrough. But I'm hoping that with continuous strikes here, there we go, we'll end up taking the city in the end. Alright. Vilnius is ours, and we have a total victory, guys. A decisive victory, as a matter of fact. 17 units destroyed, 9,692 damage dealt, although we did spend 3,000 on reinforcements, which I think is a bit much. Alright, folks, now we can decide to go to Moscow. Moscow, of course, but actually I want to go to Smolensk. No, you know what? I'm going to change that. Moscow is a much more epic battle. Let's do Moscow. My ultimate goal before the end of this video is to try and get to Stalingrad. That may or may not be possible. As you can see, we have a bunch of different actual battles we need to get through, but we can do them in any order we see fit as long as we are in the current year, if that makes sense. So actually, it might be prescient for us to go to Kharkov, and then Stalingrad after. Although I think we still get to choose Stalingrad no matter what. So let's go for Moscow, the glorious city of Moscow. So the green line is, of course, pretty much our main target, our main objective. These areas are additional objectives we need to take, but still important. Look at this German tank line. This is horrifying. We're going to have to try to break through, and maybe what we'll do, guys, is just play a little bit of this battle and then take a look at the other battles available. As you guys know, here in Great Patriotic War, there are quite a few different battles that you can play, so it really has a lot of options here. You don't need to just do Moscow. You don't need to go straight to Smolensk. You can sort of jump and skip between them. Now, I'm wondering if we have any engineer units to actually take out Vilnius, or if there's going to be another approach here. So we just want to approach with caution, of course, because if we do have a unit that can target armor specifically, we want to go for it. And actually, the 152mm is looking really good. I'm going to put him over here. I'm really hoping that the enemy doesn't try to attack. That's why I put him over here in the woods, but this enemy could easily strike him. So let's just see what happens. Hope for the best. And one more move. Now let's end the turn. German Panzer attacks on the woods to the east. We can do this. We can do this. So, since we don't have any actual anti-tank, that's going to be a problem. However, we do have tanks, number one, and we have Katyusha rockets. So, let's get the Katyusha up here. I'd love to focus on the infantry, but I really think it's more valuable to focus on the enemy armor. Here we go. Once again, we can take the city eventually. The armor could be a problem for a long time. And of course, I'll keep pushing these troops east of Baranovichi, so more than likely they'll be able to attack the unit at Borisov. My only real concern is that the enemy reinforces him, and that becomes that much harder to defeat him. Except I'm not too worried. Here we go. And there's our artillery piece. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Alright, we're going to have to hit him first for sure. So let's go for the 67th Armored Division here of the German Army. We still have an artillery strike. Let's carry it out on the infantry right here. And I'm going to keep on trying to take that gun out. That's, of course, going to be a problem until we can destroy it. Beautiful. Alright, one more attack, maybe. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the mines in front of the tank, and then I'm going to bring in this infantry unit. I miscalculated that a bit. It looks like he needs to move one more tile. I thought he'd be able to move two. Fair enough, fair enough. Make sure we haven't forgotten anyone. Now, we haven't forgotten anyone, but this central area is seeming pretty empty, to say the least. So let me get a T-3440. This is the somewhat less expensive variant of the T-34, and these guys have already done a pretty good job, so I'll bring them into the battle. Why not? Let's see what else the Germans have. Okay. Oh, yes! Now, for those of you wondering, this is the first iteration, I believe at least, of the Frontline campaign series here. Then after this, we got Western Front, and something coming up soon, although I'm going to let the developer tell you about that. So here we go. Yeah, I thought we'd be able to save him for the tank, but no, we have to move the conscripts into the city. Borisov is now ours. Let's keep softening them, though, with the Katyusha, and hopefully... Oh, we didn't even need to move through. Tremendous work by the Katyusha rocket there doing all the work on his own. We thought he was only going to get one of the enemy, but he took out all three. Well, let's keep pushing, and I don't mean pushing towards this objective, I mean pushing towards their armor. I really want to make sure that we take the teeth, or we take the fangs out of the tiger, if you know what I mean. If we can get rid of their armor, I don't think their fortifications, their artillery, or their infantry are really going to be a problem at all. Here we go. Hoorah! Very good. There we go, guys. Another objective, main objective completed, of course. And we want to keep on pushing on. Let's get the KV-2 here. I actually thought it was a KV-1. Hit the 67th armor. They've already been attacked once today. If we can get one more hit on them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken... Oh, no, that's right. We need to attack them with this unit. If we get one more hit, I believe they won't be able to attack next turn. Let's see if I'm right. So the reason it might not apply here, although it might, is because we're firing from a distance, so the enemy's not actually attacking back. Conquista Naziosa. Yeah, that was definitely against... the odds were against me there. I still went for the attack. Now, of course, over time, we can actually use this button to heal up existing units. But to do this, we have to make sure they haven't moved that turn. We also have to make sure we have enough requisition points. So let's go ahead. I'm going to heal just some of these infantry. Why not? There wasn't really a need to heal that tank, but I figured why not as well. And next turn, we're going to move that unit forward. In fact, we're going to keep on bringing in some Soviet units. I'm going to try some snipers. Sniperi. And maybe one more T-34 tank. Why not? All right. Trying to take back Kaunas with this infantry brigade. Now, if they had some support, I'd be concerned, but I think we can hold on to the city here. In fact, I'm going to use the supply wagon to go ahead and heal these units and just pretty much hold that position. That's their only job here. Hopefully our conscripts will have much more luck with the engineers. I should say our Marines will have much more luck with the engineers. But I have to say, the enemy, the Wehrmacht Flammenwerfer unit is quite good. I thought it was an engineer unit. No, pure Flammenwerfer. They are quite effective. Against armor, against infantry. What can I say? Fireworks against everything, right? Here we go, breaking through the armored division. Let's push on through. So this is not like Western Front where we get an initiative bonus. Essentially, if we destroy the enemy unit, that's it. It doesn't mean we get to attack right afterwards. And I'm trying to just surround this guy right now to maximize damage. There we go. So this unit is now surrounded, and we are going in for the kill. Avoided! No! It's the worst time for them to avoid an attack. That was an excellent job by the German Panzer IV unit. Yeah, I did not expect them to avoid that attack at all. Here we go. Engage infantry. And of course, we can bring up the T-34, but we have to bring him around. A little bit frustrating. Nonetheless, I'll continue the artillery fire on the Flammenwerfer. They've been a problem anyway, so I figure we might as well soften them up here a bit. And let's push the rest of these units forward. Borisov, almost in our control. I think we can also... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Complete mistake. Thankfully, we can undo. I want to see if we can... No, we need to be closer to be able to heal this guy. And I'd rather keep the supply wagon over here in the middle. These guys are going to have to figure it out on their own. And again, the Katyusha coming in with the victory, guys. To attack the sniper. Oh, no. We're just going to hold on. As you can see, he would do way more damage to us. Let's keep our calm, and we'll focus on what we have to do to the enemy next turn. I think right now we're off to a pretty good start. We still have a flank attack here. Nice. And their return fire was avoided. I am worried about this Karl Geralt artillery piece. It looks like it could blow up just about anything. Nonetheless, we're so close to Vilnius, guys. So close to Polotsk and Sanai. So close over here. I think those are going to be the final objectives. I certainly hope so. Finish them off once and for all. The Flammenwerfer's last flam. It looks like they're also out of ammunition, so I'm not going to follow up with a tank attack. I'm just going to proceed forward. Let's waste them. First of all, though... Oh, that's right, we moved the supply wagon, did we? No, we didn't. Let's see... Yeah. Now, this is a different kind of supply, which is just ammunition, fuel, etc. Trying to get him actual supply, but that's okay. Nice kill. Push forward over here to the Karl Geralt and begin the assault. Again, almost a complete breakthrough there. We caused a lot of MIA missing in action on the enemy side. What I'm going to do is actually get this artillery piece out of here, only because he's blocking the road for our tank. So let's get the tank in here. Even if we don't destroy him this turn, that's okay. At least we got him in action for next turn. At this point, we're going to try to soften up Polotsk. Here we go, soften the city up. Push north here a bit. Let's push the infantry forward. And that is wonderful. Look at that. We've got a few of them missing in action. I think next turn for sure we will break through. In fact, might be able to break through this turn. Not quite. We actually have to land on the tile, and all of these units are exhausted from all of the fighting. What I will do, though, is push the Katyusha here so that we can use it against the bunker there in Vilnius. All right. Good attacks, boys. Of course, that's going to be the final attack. But yeah, it looks like they did actually reinforce this unit just a little bit. While they're reinforcing that, I am just going to focus my fire on the German bunker, although the Karl Geralt is getting some supporting fire here. First things first, let's take the city of Polotsk and push forward. Now we completely collapse into the enemy lines and hopefully overwhelm them. I'm even going to send some of my units through the woods here to completely outflank the enemy. And you can imagine if you were on the German front line right now, you would be horrified. Seeing the Russians get behind the woods and start to flank you, this is a serious problem. Now they've got some Panzer Grenadiers over here that can help them a bit, but nothing stands against the Soviet tide. Okay, well, when they avoid shots, they do stand against the Soviet tide. There we go. It's going to take a lot of back and forth to get the Karl Geralt, but we fatigued him, so he won't be bothering us next turn, which is certainly like breathing a breath of fresh air. And look at that, we even get some shots on the German bunker position here at Vilnius. Of course, Vilnius being heavily defended. Let's chase him down. Marines right through the forest, and a Flammenwerfer unit destroyed. That's how you do it, boys and girls. Now, as you can see here, we've got a different kind of battle. I wanted to show you guys the difference between what I would consider a small battle in this game and an absolutely huge one. Now, this is the Battle of Moscow. As you can see, of course, we are trying to defend the city from the German invader. But the idea being here that we want to do a counterattack. That's right, a complete counterattack and smash the Germans back where they came from. Now, as you can see here, I've gotten a bunch more initiative points. I won the previous battle we were looking at, and now, of course, I can use those on additional forces. As you can see, now we've got some KV-1s. We've, of course, got our wonderful artillery. Unfortunately, at this point in the war, we do not have the Katyusha rocket. We do have them, we simply can't buy them. So I'm going to actually go ahead and begin the assault. Again, this has to be a counterattack so that we can actually push the enemy back. And what I'm going to try to do during this video is give you guys just several different views of the possible tank battles in this game. Now, first things first, I want to get the minefield out of the way. This way, I think it'll make it a lot easier to actually push the rest of our army forward and through this area so that we can start taking on the heavy defenses like the 67th Armored. I think I'm also going to try my luck here to the east. Basically just see if we can knock out some enemy units in this area. Here we go. And again, getting rid of those minefields. Got the initiative bonus, so we get a second attack. I guess we do get an initiative boost. While we're at it, we'll go ahead, fire that artillery. I mean, let's face it, with this many German panzers, we absolutely need to work down the actual numbers with some artillery fire here. Gotta do anything we can to get those numbers down. Come on, Tavarishi. Also got an AT gun. And in fact, what I should be doing is digging in here, just temporarily, so that if the enemy attacks, we'll be ready to take them on. Even here against the Jagdpanzer, we're going to get a pretty good attack because of the massive amount of infantry units we have. I'm also going to go ahead and open fire here with some artillery. And we can move down each flank to try to damage the enemy even more. Now, here in the Battle of Moscow, there does seem to be a really huge fog of war area here, and you've got to be careful with that, of course. Once you get to the fog of war, they could have men hidden here. As soon as you touch the edge of this area, suddenly you've got battalions and battalions of Wehrmacht and tanks coming to kill you. So do keep that in mind, and at the same time, let's also keep in mind the potential for purchasing some more units. This counterattack is not going to be an easy one, and we want to be absolutely ready. In fact, I'm bringing this armor up just to assist us with the 67th. We'll start pushing our own armor forward here, and I'm even going to purchase some additional KV-1s. I can't get enough of these KV-1s, and I can't get enough of the T-34s either. I think that's all we can get for now, and we're getting pretty low on requisition points. We better hope that we've got enough. I'm curious to see what the Germans will do here. I have a pretty good idea they're going to do a major counterattack. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. They are going to be pushing forward. Now, we can catch them on these bridges and do some serious damage. In fact, I might just pull back, try to funnel them through the bridges. They have routed a unit, but thankfully, since the Red Guards have so many men in that group, we're going to be able to use them next turn. Well, the turn after, because they are currently terrified. Come on, boys. Here we go. Major German assault, of course. And what we're going to do is we're going to knock out their units as they approach and then counterattack to grab those cities, snag even more initiative points. So, for instance, when we've got this unit right here, we can go ahead immediately, engage that Panzer Grenadier with our bunker. Let's take another shot at it and break right through, although I'd love to fire at this 67th Armored instead. So let's see if we can reach this guy with the artillery. Doesn't look like it. Just because this battle, it's so important to destroy the enemy troops completely so they don't refresh and get more units, more replacements, we are going to hit the infantry. Any other battle, I would probably go straight for the tank, and since we get the initiative boost, we get a second attack. Even though we're going to take some losses, I'm absolutely going to try to knock down German armor. If you're playing the Battle of Moscow, you know how important that is. Go ahead, knock down as much as you can, and weaken him as much as possible. Here we go. I think it's better to let our infantry discover what's behind the fog of war. I'm not going to risk our tanks here. And let's push forward with another T-34. Good. Go ahead and just take a look at other areas here. Gazhatsk is looking like an area we could certainly take. And we need to get to this 67th Armored Artillery. Now, taking out artillery is extremely important in any frontline game. As you know, if the artillery unit is behind an enemy unit, he's always going to get that artillery support. And just the fact that he can fire away and blast at us turn after turn. That's just no fun. So, let's move up from Mozhaisk. Look at that. How can we pass up that opportunity? It's a Flammpanzer. It has been routed, and I'm going to try to damage the 67th Armored here, too. These are just standard Panzer IVs, But they can be pretty terrifying, and as you can see, especially when they avoid attacks, that's even scarier. Now, I am going to put the red guards on the line, but it's for the good of the Soviet Union, and it's to do damage here to the artillery. Really weaken it. These guys have been routed twice, the poor units, but we're going to continue pushing through. There's no time to rest, folks. Absolutely no time to rest at all. Katyusha! Bunker! We'll hold that for now. Let's completely lay waste to the infantry here. There we go. We can move the tank into position, of course, and begin firing over here at the Jagdpanzer. This is an anti-tank weapon, and you can see that reflected. I mean, he's going to do more damage to us, but again, I'm going by numbers here. I'm just trying to get those numbers down as quickly as possible. Move over here, attack. And another attack. The Jagdpanzer has bitten quite a chunk out of our men, but we're going to try not to worry about it too much right now. So again, we're just going to proceed forward and continue the operation. We'll also, of course, bring forward some additional tank forces. Everybody's leaving Moscow to join the glorious Red Army. Here we go. Let's get that ZIS-2 and anti-tank gun forward. And the same with the KV-1 squad. In fact, we can start engage. Oh, no! Undo, undo. We can start engaging the enemy next turn, at least. So quite a few tanks willing to fight for the motherland here, guys, coming from Moscow. If we zoom out, we can just see how massive this battlefield is. Quite a large battlefield by frontline standards, that's for sure. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Just want to make sure we hold these river tiles. If we hold the river tiles, I'm a happy man. I don't care if we lose units. Men will be lost during these operations. You can see the counterattack at Gzhatsk is getting pretty brutal here. I think they're going to start sending guys in from the fog of war. And their sniper just took a chunk out of our guards unit. So I definitely want to get on that sniper, show some of that fog of war, and get into the actual town. Now, that's a Gebesjäger division, so these are mountain troops. We just avoided our first attack, our second attack. Alright, at least we hit them with the tank, and they are fatigued. So they won't be hitting us next turn, which is good news for us. I also think I want to get this artillery piece into our truck and move him forward so that he can attack next turn. Let's keep up the fighting. Let's see if the T-26, again, not as famous as the T-34, but let's see if they're lucky enough to destroy the 67th Armor. You know what? I don't usually do this, but I am going to use an airstrike here. I'm hoping they don't have any AA. And that is a destroyed German unit. The first tank army we've destroyed here outside of Moscow. It's making me feel just a little bit safer. Just a little bit. I think we have another opportunity here to get rid of a tank unit. Katyusha. And there we go. The power of Stalin's organ. That thing is an absolute killer. And again, just trying to weaken that initial German attack force. We're not going to be in a position to attack any of these areas until we get rid of that counterattack situation. And yes, again, I'm laying down Marines, Red Guards, conscripts, whatever it takes to destroy German armor. If we have to lose a few men there, well, then so be it. Initiative strike? No, I guess we don't get one there. Let's move forward with the armor and see if we can't tank, pun completely intended, this Jagdpanzer. There we go, guys. One less anti-tank unit to worry about, but still plenty of infantry to worry about. Let's see if we can't thin the herd a bit with a good old-fashioned artillery strike. Za Rodinu! Look at this beautiful train as well, guys. It functions as a KV-2, but essentially a armor train. Oh, an armor train with a KV-2 on it will be able to attack with this baby next turn. Try to save the Red Guards if we can. Patience comes to those who wait. No doubt this is true for us too here. So Let's go ahead and turn it over to the Germans. I just want to check one more thing. Okay, I knew that we had a little opening here. Let's go for the Panzerflamme. Again, just pushing him back a bit. We've dealt with him a few previous turns ago. I just want to try to maximize the damage done. Another reason being, if we can break through right here, well, that's going to make our attacks over in this region a whole lot tougher. So that might be a good suggestion here. Let's take a look. I think that's going to be it for now. Let's end the turn. Let's also keep in mind that the guards have this close attack ability. Now, this increases tank damage by 300%. So especially since we do have some guard units, we want to keep our eye on that ability for sure. Taking a look here, just make sure that we've expelled all rounds. And I think we're good. With the Katyusha, I am going to actually move him right here. Let's end the turn. Go easy on us, enemy. Here we go. Oh, man. They are using the 88 for sure here. And again, they actually tried to attack our red guards outside of the woods there. Just as standard flanking units, and they actually got forced back. The red guards are excellent fighters here. Of course, the finest of the Soviet forces, at least for the infantry. And I still really want to break through here and see what's behind the fog of war. I'm going to keep attacking. Has to be sufficient. We're so close to breaking through here. Now let me also go ahead and get out of the vehicle, and look at that. Now we've got our 152mm so close to the 67th Armored. Let's open fire. Beautiful. The enemy is shaken. If we could just get a little bit closer or send one more unit in here, we could probably completely destroy them. Once again, we're on a river tile. That's not going to work out well for us. Push over here. Get rid of German armor, boys. Hitting the 67th Armored. Push forward with the Marines here. And again, I'm okay with losing some men just because we're overall going to maximize the casualty rate for the enemy here. I want to try to get this guy out of here, however. This poor tank is not doing so hot. Not looking good. Alright, let's back up. Use the gun to weaken the enemy even more. They've actually sent out quite a group here of infantry and tanks. We're going to try to fight back and force them back, of course, but it definitely complicated things just a little bit. There are so many options in the Great Patriotic War here. We've taken a look at Moscow. We've taken a look at Minsk. As you can see here, we still have Stalingrad. We still got the battles of the Dnieper. And of course, even battles within Romania. Ultimately, getting to the Battle of Berlin in Germany, which would just be absolutely awesome. Now, what we're going to do here is just take a look at an additional fight here. Let's go to Leningrad. Liberate Kruglaya, Kerkovo, and Mortsovo. These are optional actual objectives. Destroy all enemy fuel depots. Again, another optional objective. And liberate Madvino. Now, here we go, folks. And as we push forward over here, we've got an entirely different battle. Look at the fog of war here. Of course, we, very similar to the Moscow fight in the sense, or actually very similar to our first fight in the sense that we have 3 objectives here. And 1 over here, but we are going to have to bust through an incredibly thick fog of war, and you can only imagine what the Germans might be hiding back here behind everything else, behind all the junk, of course. So I would obviously just start out here, essentially getting rid of the minefields. bust right through them, but of course that's going to waste a turn, allowing the enemy to get the first attack there. And even though we do have the initiative here, let's face it, the enemy is going to have the true initiative. And thank goodness over here we have an HQ. We don't have to worry about the Moscow situation where, well, whatever you have is what you've got, and you've got to try to make it to the end of the fight with that. That can definitely be a challenge, not a challenge that my red guards are always interested in. Keep attacking, brothers. All across the front. Oh, look at that! The sniper ability. So again, very similar to the armored units, our sniper can actually attack across 2 tiles. The game really just allows for a number of different, battles, of course, and as you move through, so for instance, if we win one of these 3, then we'll move into 1943, and we once again get to select from all 3. So it's not one of these things where you've got to definitely win the previous battle to be able to move on to a next one. It simply doesn't work that way. It really does give you the chance to, of course, try these battles year to year, and I think that's one of the interesting aspects here of the game itself, of the battle system itself. So let's take a look. Another thing I should mention, guys, we've also got Frontline Western Front. We did a video on it just recently. If you enjoyed this, both games are available for PC and for Android. So this is really one of those titles where if you want to play something on the Android, you don't have any other strategy games in mind, this is definitely one you want to pick up. And there are other games in the Frontline series. There's also a game coming up, a new Frontline game, which is why we've taken a look at these 2 recent ones. And I can't wait to take a look at that one. So again, easy to approach, very approachable games. This is something that even a novice strategy gamer is going to understand very easily, and I would absolutely recommend you guys take a look. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and taking a look at our Frontline, the Great Patriotic War video, and a special thanks to the developer, Yona Georgescu. Obviously, it's tough to actually make these games completely by yourself, and he manages to do that every time. Not an easy feat. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one. Spasiba, tavarishi.